Once Upon a Time in the West is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it's as simple as that. I could end the review right there because there's no need to review it. You know, I don't have to go into all the separate elements that go into making a great movie, like directing, writing, acting, cinematography, set design. Don't need to talk about any of that here because it's all perfect. Quite literally, perfecto. Instead, what I want to talk about is how much I want to talk about this movie, which is a lot. You know, a testament to how good a movie is, or anything for that matter, is how much time you spend thinking about it after you've seen it, or read it, or eaten it. In which case, we're not talking about movies anymore, we're talking about food, or other things that you eat, because you can get excited about food. For example, you go to a place that you eat at, and you enjoy it, and you tell your friends about it. And there are food blogs online, and food reviews. And so my point is, as human beings, we often tend to share our thoughts through discussion. Hence my excitement, hence my thoughts, hence this video. Cue Once Upon a Time in the West. If you took the first 10 minutes of this movie and totally separated them from the other 150, it would be a masterpiece unto itself. Visual storytelling. It's what every movie should do, and it's what this movie does. And instead of being greeted with this loud, sudden burst of music, we are instead introduced to this rusty, creaky train station guarded by a rusty, creaky station guard. And in typical Western fashion, a stranger approaches. Except this time, it's not one, not two, but 3 strangers who appear at the entrance. And just a little side note that I've noticed is that Leone, I'm pretty sure he casted based on faces, because these guys have weathered, almost grotesque, albeit memorable, visages. For 10 minutes we wait with these strangers, as they wait for the train, as well as whatever or whomever may be on it. We don't know yet. For 10 minutes, train arrives. Package is delivered. Not what they're looking for. They turn to leave when we're introduced to the first glorious piece of music in this glorious piece of film. Cue that music. Haunting stuff, man. Everything about this movie is timeless, from the setup to the showdown to the sets, but it wouldn't be a proper Sergio Leone spaghetti western without Ennio Morricone's genius score. And since a great deal of the story is played out without any dialogue whatsoever, the music becomes really important, almost like a character in and of itself, guiding the viewer's emotions to suit the scene. Think about this. When I say the 2 words, western and music, this immediately pops into your head. That's actually from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, another Leone film, another Morricone soundtrack, arguably his most famous, and rightly so, What's interesting, though, is that each of the characters had the same theme played on different instruments to distinguish their appearance when they came on screen. It just goes to show how thoughtful Morricone was when it came to composing music for these characters. However, we are not discussing The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. We are discussing Once Upon a Time in the West, because, to me, that film is just the culmination of both Leone's and Morricone's and everyone else who worked on this movie's talent and hard work, all of it compressed into a single. So what it is, a time capsule. I imagine watching this on the big screen is the closest thing to building a time machine and literally traveling back into the 19th century, if not better. The magical, fairy tale-like plotline and atmosphere is a rare thing to feel. Obviously, watching it on my laptop's a bit disappointing, but based on everything I've said so far, I guess the 13-inch display was still able to capture at least a fraction of its glory. I'll say this: if you would like to experience this thing fully, watch it on the biggest, loudest rectangular prism in your house or elsewhere. Just make sure it's big and loud. For those of you who have not seen this movie yet, I shan't spoil it for you, because there's a lot more I wish I could talk about. Little moments that stood out to me, So what I suggest you do is stop watching this video and go watch Once Upon a Time in the West. Experience those moments for yourself, because they're worth it. Like I said, this is not a review, this is just a long-winded, obnoxious, overglorified recommendation. So if you're just tuning in now,